Have you ever felt a strange vibe in a room full of warm smiles? Like someone's kind words hid a secret wish for your stumble. Envy and deceit don't always reveal themselves boldly. They lurk behind friendly grins and smooth compliments. If you miss the signs, they can slip right past you. The real danger lies not in loud foes, but in silent pretenders who cheer your wins while quietly hoping you fall. Picture this. You share great news, but one person's smile feels forced. Their praise, hollow. Your gut knows something is off. Stoicism teaches us to trust logic over charm. In this video, we will uncover 10 Stoic secrets to spot envy and protect your peace. Ready for truth? Subscribe, hit the bell, and comment. I want clarity. Let us dive in. 1. Evaluate their response to your success. Watch how they react to your victories. Stoic philosophy teaches that a person's true nature shines through when you succeed. Picture this. You just aced a big project or got that promotion you worked hard for. Most friends cheer, but one gives a tight smile. Their words clipped, like they are swallowing something sour. That is envy peeking out. It is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it is a quiet pause, a forced, good job that feels hollow. Stoicism tells us to notice these moments, not to crave applause, but to see who truly supports you. Success is like a spotlight. It reveals who is comfortable with your shine and who squirms. Jealousy slips through in small ways, like a backhanded compliment or a quick subject change when your win comes up. Maybe they say, "That is great, but it was probably easy for you." Or they go silent, their mood shifting like a storm cloud. These are not random. They show someone wrestling with their own insecurities. Your progress holds up a mirror to their doubts. And instead of growing, they resent you. Stoics do not waste time chasing approval. They focus on what they can control, their own actions and peace. Marcus Aurelius taught us to observe without obsession. Do not dwell on why someone acts this way. Just see it for what it is, a sign of where their heart lies. A true ally lifts you up without a hint of bitterness. They celebrate your wins as if they were their own. But someone gripped by envy, their support feels like a performance, and you will sense it. Maybe they downplay your effort, hinting you just got lucky, or they steer the talk to their own struggles, stealing your moment. These are red flags. Stoicism says, do not fight them. Do not let their words shake you. Instead, adjust who you keep close. This is not just about others. Turn the lens on yourself. How do you react when a friend succeeds? Are you genuinely happy? Or do you feel a twinge of comparison? Stoicism pushes us to be honest and root out our own envy. Your success is more than a milestone. It is a test. It shows who walks with you and who hopes you trip. Choose people who match your peace, not those who stir unease. Let your circle be a reflection of your strength, built on trust and real joy for each other's growth. 2. Notice how they interact with those who can't benefit them. See how they treat those who offer them nothing. Stoic wisdom says a person's true character shows in how they act toward people who cannot boost their status. Imagine a colleague who charms the boss with a wide grin but snaps at the office cleaner when no one is looking. That is not just a bad day. It is a window into their soul. Envy and deceit often hide in these moments. Someone who only respects those with power or influence is not guided by kindness. They are chasing gain. Stoicism teaches us to spot this and protect our peace. True integrity does not shift with status. A Stoic believes every person has worth, whether they are a CEO or a street vendor. Watch closely. Does your friend speak warmly to those who can help them but turn cold to others? Maybe they laugh with the popular crowd but ignore the quiet intern. These are not small quirks. They reveal a heart that values advantage over humanity. I once saw a manager praise a client in a meeting. All smiles. Then roll his eyes at a waiter who got his order wrong. That contrast stuck with me. It showed he cared about impressions, not people. Stoics notice these patterns, not to judge, but to understand who to trust. This is not just about others. Stoicism asks us to look inward. How do you treat the cashier when you are in a rush? Do you offer the same respect to a stranger as you do to someone important? If your kindness depends on what you can get, it is time to reflect. Seneca said, "Every human is a chance to practice goodness, living that takes work, but it builds a life of real honor." When you see someone dismiss those who cannot help them, it is a sign. They may flatter you today, but their loyalty will fade when you no longer serve their goals. Jealousy and deceit thrive in people who see others as tools. They may hide it well, but their actions toward the powerless betray them. Stoicism does not tell us to confront them. It tells us to observe and choose our circle wisely. Surround yourself with those who show respect to everyone, not just the ones who can lift them up. That is how you build relationships that last, grounded in truth and mutual dignity. Keep watching. The way someone treats those below them tells you everything you need to know. 3. Observe their actions. Look at what they do, not what they say. Stoic wisdom tells us words can be a mirage, but actions show the truth. People might shower you with praise, their voices dripping with warmth, yet their deeds can tell a different story. Imagine you land a big win, maybe a new job or a dream project. Friends cheer, but one person's applause feels empty, like they're just going through the motions. Their smile is bright, but their eyes stay cold. That is your clue. Envy often hides behind sweet talk, and Stoicism urges us to stay sharp. Do not let fancy words fool you. Watch closely. Does this person show up when you need them? Are they there? Truly there? When the spotlight is off? Or do they vanish when you could use a hand? Actions do not bend like words can. They stand firm, revealing what someone really feels. Think about it. Someone might say, they are your biggest fan. But if they dodge your calls when you are struggling, what does that tell you? A Stoic does not get lost in the noise of promises. They focus on patterns. If a friend brags about your success in a crowd, but whispers doubts when you are alone, that is not support. That is a mask. They might not plot against you openly, but their absence in tough times speaks louder than any speech. Stoicism teaches us to stay calm, not bitter. When we see this, do not waste energy on anger. Instead, see it clearly and guard your peace. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic master, said to focus on being good, not debating what goodness looks like. Apply that here. Do not argue with someone's fake smiles. Just notice their choices. Do they keep promises? Do they help when there is nothing in it for them? That is where their heart lies. This is not just about spotting envy in others. It is about living better ourselves. If we demand truth from those around us, we have to give it too. Are your actions matching your words? Are you showing up for others the way you expect them to for you? Stoicism is not just a shield against deceit. It is a mirror for our own integrity in life, where everyone is playing a part. Your calm center depends on seeing what is real. Trust what people do. Their actions will always whisper the truth. Even when their words shout something else, keep your eyes open and let their behavior guide who you let close. That is how you build a life surrounded by honesty, not hidden grudges. 4. Monitor consistency. Check for steady behavior. Stoic wisdom says a person's true self shows in how consistent they are. Words can shift like the wind, but actions that stay the same reveal character. Imagine a friend who is all smiles and support when things are easy. But when a big opportunity comes, they turn sharp, maybe even cold. That change is not random. It is a clue. Envy or deceit often hides in these flips, where someone's warmth vanishes when the stakes get high. Stoicism teaches us to watch for this, not to judge quickly, but to see clearly. Consistency is like a heartbeat. It shows life and truth. A person who acts the same, whether you are winning or struggling, is someone you can trust. But someone whose mood swings with your success or their gain, that is a warning. I once worked with a guy who preached teamwork, always talking about unity. But when a big client showed up, he pushed others aside, hogging the spotlight. His values bent when it suited him. That was not just ambition, it was a crack in his character. Stoics do not get mad about this. They observe and learn who belongs in their circle. Marcus Aurelius said, "We should welcome truth, even when it stings." If someone's actions wobble, it is not your job to fix them. Just notice. Do they keep their word when no one is watching? Are they kind when there is nothing to gain? Or do they shift, praising you one day and ignoring you the next? These patterns tell you everything. Envy makes people unreliable. They might cheer when you are useful but fade when you need them. Stoicism says, do not fight this. Protect your peace by choosing who stays close. This is not just about others. Look at yourself. Are you steady in how you treat people? No matter the situation, do your actions match your values, even under pressure? Stoicism pushes us to live with integrity, not just spot it in others. When you see inconsistency, do not lash out. Take it as a sign to set boundaries. Surround yourself with those whose actions are as solid as their words. That is how you build a life free from hidden agendas, where trust grows strong because everyone's behavior holds steady no matter what comes. 5. Distinguish between praise and flattery. Spot the difference between real praise and empty flattery. Stoic wisdom warns us that not every kind word is honest. Some compliments are like shiny wrappers, hiding selfish motives. Picture a coworker who always says, "You are amazing." Their voice full of awe. It feels good at first, but something feels off, like they are laying it on too thick. That is flattery, not praise. And Stoicism teaches us to see through it. True praise is simple and tied to what you did. Flattery is overdone, often a tool to win your trust or distract you. I once knew someone who praised my every move, calling me a genius after small wins. It was nice, but I noticed they never followed through on their own work. Their words were a smokescreen, keeping me off guard while they took credit behind my back. When I caught on, I felt foolish for buying into it. Stoics do not chase warm fuzzies. They look for truth. Flattery often comes from envy or opportunism. Someone might gush about your skills, but hope you miss their lack of effort. Or they praise you to your face while sowing doubts elsewhere. These are signs to watch for. Marcus Aurelius said to seek truth, not applause. If someone is always hyping you up, pause. Ask yourself, do their actions match their words? Are they there when you need support? Or just when the spotlight is on? Real praise comes from those who see your work and respect it. No strings attached. Flattery is a performance, often hiding jealousy or a plan to use you. Stoicism tells us to stay grounded, finding worth in our own efforts, not in someone else's loud cheers. This lesson is not just about spotting fakes. It is about you, too. Do you praise others to be kind, or to get something back? Stoicism calls for honesty in all we do. When you give praise, mean it. When you receive it, weigh it. If it feels like flattery, trust your gut and keep your eyes open. People who flatter too much may not wish you well. They might smile now, but their words could hide a knife. Protect your peace by valuing what is real over what sounds sweet. Choose relationships built on truth, not empty charm. And you will stand stronger in a world full of smooth talkers. 6. Attentively notice unintentional comparisons. Catch their subtle comparisons. Stoic wisdom urges us to listen carefully when people toss out casual remarks that measure you against others. Picture sharing a proud moment, like a new job or a personal win. And someone says, "That is cool. But have you seen what Sarah is up to?" It sounds harmless, but that little jab carries weight. It is not just talk. It is envy slipping through, dressed as friendly chatter. Stoicism teaches us to spot these moments, not to take them personally, but to see them as clues about someone's heart. These comparisons are not random. They come from a place of unease, where your success stirs up someone's insecurities. Instead of cheering you on, they try to dim your light by pointing to someone else's. It might be a quick comment, like, "Nice work, but John did it faster." Or maybe they bring up another's achievements to shift the focus. These are not accidents. They are attempts to make you feel smaller, to ease their own doubts. I once shared a milestone with a friend, and they replied, "That is great, but my cousin just did something similar." It stung, not because I cared about their cousin, but because it felt like my moment was brushed aside. Stoics do not dwell on this. They observe and move forward. Epictetus taught us to focus on what we control, our actions and peace, not others' words. When someone keeps comparing you, it is their struggle, not yours. But if you let it sink in, it can chip away at your confidence. Stoicism says, do not argue or compete. Stay rooted in your own path. Ask yourself, who in your life does this? Are they lifting you up or quietly pulling you down? True friends celebrate your wins without pitting you against others. They see your growth and let it shine. No scorekeeping needed. This is not just about spotting envy. Look inward. Do you ever compare others to make yourself feel better? Stoicism calls for honesty. Celebrate others without measuring. When you hear those sneaky comparisons, do not fight back. Just notice and choose your circle wisely. Surround yourself with people who honor your journey without dragging others into it. That is how you build a life free of petty rivalries, where your peace stays strong, untouched by others' need to compare. 7. Listen to your inner voice. Trust your gut instincts. Stoic wisdom reminds us that our inner voice often catches what our eyes miss. Picture being around someone who seems kind, their words warm and supportive, yet a quiet unease tugs at you, like their smile does not match their vibe. That is not just a feeling, it is your mind picking up subtle hints of envy or deceit. Stoicism teaches us to honor this inner signal, not as fear, but as a guide to see truth clearly. Your gut is like a silent scout. Science shows it spots tiny cues, like a forced laugh or a glance that lingers too long, before you consciously notice. I once felt off about a colleague who was all charm, always quick with praise, but something in their tone felt hollow. And later, I learned they were undermining me. That unease was my instinct waving a flag. Stoics do not ignore this. They use it to stay sharp, watching for patterns that confirm or ease that doubt. Envy rarely shouts. It hides in small things, like a compliment that feels too polished or a question that probes too deep. Someone might act like your ally, but leave you drained. Their support laced with competition. Your gut feels this mismatch, whispering, "Look closer." Stoicism says, do not rush to judge. Instead, observe. Do their actions line up with their words? Does their presence lift you or weigh you down? These questions help you see past the mask. This is not just about others. Check yourself. Do you listen to your instincts or brush them off for logic alone? Stoicism blends reason with awareness, urging us to trust both. If someone's vibe keeps sparking discomfort, do not fight it. Explore it. Maybe they praise you, but slip in comparisons. Maybe their kindness feels like a show. Note these and choose who gets your trust. Marcus Aurelius taught us to seek reality, not illusions. Your gut is a tool for that, helping you spot who is true and who is playing a part. Surround yourself with people whose energy matches their words, where your instincts hum with ease, not caution. That is how you build a life rooted in truth, free from hidden agendas. Keep listening to that inner voice. It is your compass, guiding you through smiles that hide envy, and toward those who walk with you in honest light. 8. Observe their attitude when criticized. Notice their response to feedback. Stoic wisdom teaches that how someone handles criticism reveals their true character. Picture a friend who nods politely when you point out a mistake, but later snaps or sulks. That reaction is not just a moment, it is a window into their heart. Envy and insecurity often show up here, hiding behind defensive words or fake smiles. A Stoic does not see feedback as a jab, but as a chance to grow. Those who cannot take it are often protecting a fragile ego, not seeking truth. Imagine you gently suggest a better way to handle a task. A grounded person listens, maybe even thanks you, but someone driven by jealousy might bristle, deflect, or turn the tables, blaming you. Instead, their response is not about the critique, it is about their fear of being seen as less. I once knew a colleague who seemed confident, always ready with a grin. But when a manager noted a small error, he got loud, insisting it was not his fault. That outburst showed more than frustration. It showed a man scared to face his flaws. Stoics watch these moments, not to judge, but to understand who they can trust. Marcus Aurelius said, "We should welcome correction if it leads to truth." A person who embraces feedback, even when it stings, is rooted in strength. They value growth over pride. But someone who fights every suggestion, shuts down, or gets petty, that is a sign of deeper issues, often tied to envy or deceit. They cannot handle being wrong because it cracks the image they cling to. Stoicism tells us to observe this calmly. Do they reflect or react? Do they listen or lash out? These answers show who they are when the mask slips. This is not just about spotting flaws in others. Turn the mirror on yourself. How do you take criticism? Do you breathe, think, and grow? Or do you push back to save face? Stoicism calls us to seek truth, even when it is tough. When you see someone dodge feedback, do not argue. Just note it and choose your circle wisely. Surround yourself with people who face correction with humility, not those who hide behind pride. That is how you build a life of real trust, where growth matters more than ego, and truth is the goal. 9. Evaluate how they share personal information. Listen to how they talk about their lives. Stoic wisdom says a person's words paint their true character, like dye on cloth. When someone shares their story, their successes or struggles, it reveals their heart. Picture a friend who brags about every small win, puffing up details to sound grand, or they dodge failure, blaming everyone else. That is not just talk. It is a sign of envy or insecurity lurking beneath. Stoicism teaches us to hear this, not to judge, but to understand who we let close. A grounded person speaks with humility. They share their wins without fanfare, focusing on lessons, not applause. Their failures, they own them, admitting missteps with quiet strength. I once knew someone who boasted non-stop about their deals. But when things went south, it was always the team's fault. That contrast showed a soul scared to face truth. Stoics notice this. They do not get mad. They see it as a clue to guard their peace. Honest people do not need to exaggerate. Their truth stands tall without embellishment. Marcus Aurelius said, "Our thoughts shape who we are." If someone's words drip with envy, tearing others down or gloating over their stumbles, it shows a restless mind. Maybe they gossip, spilling secrets to feel big, or criticize to lift themselves. These habits are not just rude, they are toxic, leaking jealousy that can sour your space. Stoicism says, do not fight this. Observe and choose who gets your trust. True allies speak with care, lifting others without stepping on them. This is not just about spotting flaws. Look at yourself. Do you share your story with honesty, or do you stretch the truth to impress? When you fail, do you own it, or point fingers? Stoicism calls us to live with integrity, letting our words match our deeds. When you hear someone twist their tail, do not argue. Just note it and pick your circle wisely. Surround yourself with those who speak from truth, not pride. Their words build trust, not walls. That is how you create a life free of poison, where every story told strengthens bonds, and no one's voice hides a jealous edge. Keep listening. What people say about their lives shows who they are when the mask is off. 10. Pay attention to their reactions to personal failures. Watch how they handle their setbacks. Stoic wisdom says failure strips away masks, showing who someone really is. Imagine a colleague who seems polished, always on top of things, but when a project flops, they point fingers, blaming everyone but themselves. That is not just a bad moment. It is a glimpse into their core. Envy and deceit often hide in how people react to their own stumbles. Stoicism teaches us to notice this, not to judge harshly, but to see clearly who we can trust. Failure is a raw test. A strong person meets it with quiet grit. They own their part, learn, and keep going. But someone gripped by insecurity or jealousy, they dodge blame like it is poison. They might rewrite the story, painting themselves as the victim, or lash out to hide their shame. I once knew a teammate who glowed with charm until a deal fell through. Instead of reflecting, he spun tales, claiming others sabotaged him. It was not just denial, it was a sign he cared more about looking good than being good. Stoics spot this and stay calm, choosing clarity over drama. Seneca said, "Trials shape us. Like friction polishes a gem, a grounded person grows through setbacks, even if it hurts." But those driven by envy cannot face fault. They deflect, accuse, or sulk, anything to shield their ego. These reactions show fear, not strength, and often hint at a heart that resents others' success too. Stoicism tells us to observe without anger. Do they admit mistakes or dodge them? Do they learn or just complain? These answers reveal more than any victory ever could. This is not just about others. Look at yourself. When you mess up, do you face it head on, or do you scramble to save face? Stoicism pushes us to embrace failure as a teacher, not a threat. When you see someone crumble under their own mistakes, do not fight them. Just note it and choose your circle carefully. Surround yourself with people who meet setbacks with courage, not excuses. That is how you build a life rooted in truth, where everyone grows stronger through challenges. And no one hides from what failure can teach. Keep your eyes open. How someone falls tells you who they are when the spotlight fades. And there you have it. We have walked through 10 Stoic clues to unmask envy and deceit. Those quiet forces that slip into our lives wearing masks of friendship or support. Stoic wisdom gives us the tools to see past the surface, to spot the subtle signs of jealousy that hide in forced smiles or hollow praise. This is not about dwelling on others' flaws, but about protecting your inner peace, your most precious asset. Life is too short to let it be drained by those who secretly wish for your stumble. Instead, build a circle of people who lift you up with genuine joy, who celebrate your wins without a trace of resentment. You do not need to fight or confront. Simply observe, choose wisely, and keep your focus on what truly matters. Your growth, your truth, your calm. If this video opened your eyes or gave you a new lens to see the world, do-me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a dose of Stoic clarity. Share this with someone you care about. Maybe a friend who could use these insights to navigate their own relationships. Here is your challenge. Pick one of these 10 Stoic clues and put it into action today. Maybe it is watching someone's actions over their words, or trusting your gut when something feels off. Then, Come back and drop a comment saying, "I tried it. I will be here," cheering you on. Stay grounded. Stay wise. And let Stoicism light your path to a life filled with honesty and unshakable peace.